So I finished Cave Story 3D that I rented from the library instead of Room Factory 4. Sorry, Lloyd. And it's actually a pretty good game. It reminds me very much of Metroid and things along those lines. Mostly Metroid because you can shoot things and there's a bunch of health and missile tanks and stuff like that. And I got the good ending, so mm, that good ending. There's the difference. That's something else for another day. You pretty much play as this extremely pale kid. If you can see that, yeah, that pale robot kid with that sword that you don't get until much later in the game, and you can trade it for what people call a better weapon. I call the scrub weapon. Aside the point. He said, and well, pretty much the basis of the story is that this one doctor dude found a demon crown on this floating island that was inhabited by these dog-like funny creatures called the Mamiga, and pretty much is trying to take over the surface world as well as this island, using it as a floating fortress by feeding all the Mamiga red flowers, which makes them go insane, and all in ways she's super powerful, etc., etc., etc. Along with some two sidekick slave things, this lunchbox named Balrog, and this witch named Misery, which is just a horrifying name. Who would name your child that? Apparently, an old woman obsessed with dogs named Jenka. And that's about as simple as I can make it without, well, spoiling everything. And Jesus Christ, this game, the game's plot is like, pretty standard, and it's all that pretty standard crap, and then just drops into the dark abyss of just, as Johnny put it, it's just like, why? How? Why is it so dark? Why are people dying all of a sudden? Like, it's the final point of the game. Like, you just, all of a sudden, it's the final point. Like, by that, I mean the bloodstream sanctuary. Fuck that place. I'll get onto that when I get to that. Yeah. The plot gets extremely dark, and I'm not going to go out and spoil it for you. The game is a fairly short game. I beat it in a couple days, and I have to return it tomorrow. But I would say the normal ending probably adds like a good couple of hours to your gameplay. Because of how I would say NES hard. Like it is, well, not necessarily NES hard, but like it's hard to the point where you need to figure it out. You have to memorize it, and then you'll pretty much get it down. Because once you do, it's like super easy and pretty damn fun, repetitive crap. And okay, don't use the life pot until like the second phase, not even the second phase, but the third phase, the final boss, the final that, and don't go after Professor Brewster when he falls into the abyss, because then you will get the total. But aside the point, gameplay wise, pretty much how you play the game. You have a bunch of weapons. The first weapon you get is the Polestar, a fairly basic gun thing that you want to hold on until the end of the game to get the super broken spur weapon by returning back to the beginning area. That's that. And you get like other weapons, like a fireball weapon that's all silver and then runs along the floor. You get the sword I mentioned, which pretty much acts like a direct boomerang type attack. That eventually, when it gets fully powered up, it takes a while to get powered up, but once it gets fully powered up, it doesn't lower down nearly as much, and at its final level, it instantly maxes out and then does super attacks in a sense. The closest you're gonna get to it. You get a bubble weapon that's interesting, but not all that useful later on. And what else? Oh yeah, and you got missiles, as I mentioned earlier. Pretty much how the game works is that when you kill enemies, they'll drop, well, other than just health and missile pickups, which is pretty much the only weapon that uses ammo is missiles. Others may use ammo, but it regenerates. Uh, that but then it will also drop like little triangles that vary in size and experience give out. And every weapon can level up a total of 3 times, but every time you take damage, it lowers down the bar a little bit, which is not that bad. I got used to it rather quickly. It wasn't that hard of a concept to grasp. So yeah, uh, and pretty much you go around shooting things and kicking ass and taking names, pretty much, and platforming. That and later on in the game, you can either get the booster level 0.8 if you go after the regular booster when he falls in the lap with, or you could ignore him and then he'll be alive. And, well, later on, give you the booster version 2.0, which is the only one I got to use, and it's much more kick-ass. If anybody's played like the later X games, like when they give you like the dash, like the upward, like the mid-air dash, as opposed to just slide, just dashing across the floor, it's kind of like that, except for it's a lot longer. It allows you to move in all 4 directions. You just last longer, and it's completely essential. Not to mention, I suppose I should bring this up. The bloodstream. At this point, the bloodstained sanctuary. Good God. Ugh. You need everything. You have to be completely prepared for this. Like you have to. You see this girl that's obscured by a barcode there. Slightly. That's Curly Brace. She's apparently a robot that was built along with you and kind of is bound to you. Pretty much the way you, pretty much if you ignore Professor Brewster, you get the tow rope, which can save her from drowning. And once you save her from drowning and like save her overall, you get separated at one point, and then you find her hanging out with Cthulhu. Not the giant destructive demon thing. No, Cthulhu like how do I explain this? He's just a guy who's a bit of a douchebag, but I kind of am. I like the guy, but he's a douche he's a complete douche in every meaning of the word. Pretty much, when you run into him, you have to restore a memory by pretty much killing a mushroom killing a mushroom so you can feed it to get her amnesia from being amnesia, and then and then she gives you an item. It's a bit cryptic, but not too bad. By the way, use a guide if you want the best ending, because you won't get it if you don't have it. Really, the part where I kind of messed up is the fact that pretty much at the very end of the game, you have to go into like an old shed, which I didn't really realize. I can't blame myself. That enough. A lot of things different in Cave Story 3D that I've heard from the original is that they have a lot more health of pickups and bonus areas, like random extra areas that weren't in the original, as well as the new 3D graphics. Graphics! That, and you can play it in this very, very classic mode. Really intense. Then a couple throwaway items, like, well, other than Curly's items that would normally unlock Curly mode in the other versions of the game, but which are completely worthless in this game. But you can also get a badge from killing that one Iron Head fish monster without getting hit once at all, which is something. And you can get that hat that's apparently like the mascot of the creator of the game. That's a thing too. And it's pretty much basic gist of it. It's actually not all that much better than say the Wii version. It's pretty much just a 3D version of the original with a couple more extra things going here and there. But otherwise, do what you want with it. You probably should get the Wii version before getting this one, or like the Nintendo eShop version. Just whatever you want to try out. Just it's a good game. You should pick it up. That's all I gotta say. That and the soundtrack is freaking amazing. Look that crap up. Even though I got the boss theme and the Bloodstained Sanctuary theme stuck in my head. Hard rock, baby, hard rock. Can't really help it. Well, I guess I'm it. I'm wrapping this up. My people. This is all you just look for this and there's no more bullshit. EB Games it. Actually, no, Best Buy it. Toys R Us? Whatever. Get it at those places and see you some other time. Also, no, never mind. I'll do another video for that.